tell each other like, oh, you got this, like,
Yeah.
don't be shy, don't be embarrassed, like, you got this. And when it comes time for me to sing and I'm a little nervous, they're like, oh, Sierra, come on, you got this. So we cheer each other on, and we bring each other up, because we find it's better to build each other up than to build each other down. We want to make sure that everybody has a great day. And if something is going wrong, we don't try to complain about it or anything like that. We just fix it. We fix it to make it better, so our customers can enjoy the meal that they're eating in the time that they're having, because we want everybody to see that, hey, we might be this young, but we understand and we're doing the best. And so we work with them on it. And yes, I am a host, but I was in culinary over at Manual Tech. And
Oh, good.
I called my other friend Anaya, and I was like, hey, I got a job for you. Like, it's cool, you're gonna love it. So yeah, so she's the main chef because she's been cooking her whole life. She has her own little business. So she's the
Oh,
chef. But I help sometimes in the kitchen when I need to be help when they need me to help. And then I also go out and host, and I sing and all of that. And
yeah.
I encourage my peers to want to do more and want to do better. And I encourage them to not be afraid to do something. Like, don't be afraid to let somebody hear what you have to say. Don't be afraid to let them hear your voice. Some of the kids over there, they like to rap. So they have a couple of rap songs and stuff like that that they made. And
That's so good.
yeah, they get kind of nervous and they say, no, I don't want to do it at first. But then I push them to do it because I know
Well,
they do it.
I have to say, Sierra, that you have only led me to my next 17 questions. You are so full of information. Now, the first thing Attorney brought us is time, place, venue. And it sounds like there are a few young people, not just a couple. So if you would, Sister Broadus, give us some details.
Okay, so we're every Sunday from 12 to 3 o'clock at the Mount Pleasant Missionary Baptist Church. It's part of the Mount Pleasant EDC programming. People like Freedom Schools, all that. So Mount Pleasant, we're also now we're doing this piece. And so what happens is between the hours of 12 and 3 o'clock, you can basically make a reservation, and we'll send you the link. You can make a reservation to come in anytime during that time, and then you'll be seated, you'll be served, and you'll get great food. You'll have entertainment from our young people. Is what we try to do in this career kitchen. It's kind of like a dinner playhouse, but it's a brunch playhouse. Yeah. So you actually get, of course, your food, but then our young people, and they're going to talk to you. Like Miss Sierra, she loves to sing. Maybe she'll sing a song for us today. I don't know, but she's always ready when you need her to.
Outstanding.
Okay.
Look forward to
it. And so, but also young people, they will rap. They will tell you about their career goals. They're going to just be talking to you. Yeah. And it's really a good experience because they're your servers. So we have 10 young people. Our hosts are, of course, it's Miss Sierra, gentleman named Mr. Anton, and then Mr. Jeffrey. Mr. Anton, he won't be with us this week, but hopefully he'll be back soon. And then we have our servers. They are normally Mr. Kevon, Miss Kasaya, and Mr. Xavier, and Mr. Ronald. So they'll be with us this Sunday. Our actual servers, they wait and wait. They take your order. I mean, they do the whole thing. They're pretty exciting. Then we have our cooks, and that's normally Miss Denaya, Miss Michael, and Miss Elise when she's here, but she may not be with us this week. And then, of course, we have, Mr. Micah. We have Mr. Micah and Mr. Ricky. They are our bussers. I mean, we really run a full restaurant.
That is fantastic.
And so we decorated every week. Yes. Is a different theme. The tables have tablecloths on them and flowers. And it's so beautiful. And they do it all. They set up, so they decorate, clean, and they plan the menu. We do a prep. I mean, they prep the food. They do it all. And we have adults that are around that we facilitate, but it's really their restaurant. And the reason I wanted to talk about that a little bit more today is because we're trying to figure out, what are some programs or things that we can do ongoing, where not just these young people, but other young people can have projects year round to where they're just doing what they do in an easy way for the community to participate. Oh, and the meals are only $10. So, for example, this
Yes.
Sunday, you're going to get some lasagna. Of course, you'll get some French bread, you'll get a Caesar salad, you'll get a drink. And then the
Wow.
sweet treat Miss Paris talked about, it's a brownie with ice cream on top for only $2. So, you're going to get some good food, and it really is good. Everybody is so amazing how
This
good
is
the food is.
this is
But,
this is so
I mean, we're supporting the young people, but like, this
yes.
is really good. I'm like, I told y'all, it's really good.
Well, let me see if Brother Walker wanted to say something. I see the head nodding, and I know that you are in agreement, Mr. Lewis George Walker. You're on mute.
I was just thinking. I said, "Man," I said, well, "What's the address of this
It
location
is.
again?"
It's 2200 Olive Street, and it's in Kansas City, Missouri. And I'll have to make sure that I get you both the flyer, so I'll send it out. I'll both of you once we're off the air,
Yeah,
because
definitely, definitely. We'd like to put that on our website. So
no
yeah, no
problem.
problem.
Yeah. Okay, I will.
And
It's really fun.
it is really it was an honor uh, for me, Sister Valencia. I want to say a pleasure to see, though the circumstances were not what you would call pleasant circumstances, but at the services for Dwayne Crompton, I saw uh, Pastor Emeritus L. Henderson Bell,
Yes.
whom I had not seen since September 28th, 2019, which was the Saturday where they celebrated his retirement. And 2200 Olive is the opportunity to nod in his direction as well. But I would have Sierra Boston to know that when you said $10, that is already competitive. But when she said she sings and you said others rap, and you get an opportunity to critique, to discuss, that's as great and competitive as the assessment for that meal can be. So I'll turn it back over to Valencia Broadus. Maybe she can encourage Sierra Boston to sing a note or two.
Sing a song. And so I'll kind of I'll lead up, and I know she's really always ready. She's gonna be going to college, and she's gonna be a music major, so she ain't playing. I just want to tell you. So, but one of the things that we do in this career kitchen, and we have a goal of having these career kitchens around the community during the school year. And so I've always had a vision, first of all, that if every church would take 10 kids, every church, you take
Ooh,
10 kids,
come on.
and you basically create either a kitchen or a carpentry or something that has to be, young people friendly. But if every church would take 10 kids, especially high school, and give them something to do year round, you know how much violence that's going to prevent? Not just because they're busy, but because they're getting that mentoring all the time by people coming
Yeah.
in and out of the church. And then when you come to one of our Sundays, you'll see it's so phenomenal that all the people that normally come downstairs from the church. So that's why it being in a church is important. And
Yes.
we only do it on a Sunday. We train all week. We train Tuesday through Friday to basically clean and serve and cook, and we do
Yes.
the life skills. But then on Sunday's game day. And on Sunday, they are, not only is the food ready, it's smelling good, but they're in order, they're confident. And then the people, they invite their family and their friends. I mean, it's really a big deal. They help make this run. And so, even if we just had 12 churches that would just do a career kitchen during the school year, these young people, they need something to do after school, or in the summers. The more that we can do that, we're basically doing project-based mentoring without having to make it so formal. But they've got somewhere to go. They look forward to it, and every week they get better and better and better. And so that's a mission that I'm on right now. And so
Yes.
we're gonna be rising up, Miss Sierra. Is that right, Miss Sierra? We're gonna rise up and make some things happen. So when you're ready, you talk to us, okay?
Now, thank
Okay,
You
you.
ready? Okay.
I'm ready.
Yeah, go girl. Let's do it.
You're broken down, tired of living life on a merry-go-round, and you can't find the fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out and move. Mountains, we gon' walk it out and move. Mountains, and I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day, I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again, and I'll rise up high like the waves, I'll rise up in spite of the ache, I'll rise up and I'll do it 1,000 times again.
Amen.
It's
Fantastic.
amazing.
That
One
is
of the
Thank
one of the
you.
big things that we do during the week is
That was
we
great.
talk about different things.
Yes.
Thank you, Miss Sierra. We talk during the week about different things that are impacting the young people, whatever it is, and then we develop our theme, and that's on a Tuesday normally. So after Sunday, we come back on Tuesday. We talk about things that are happening, we do praises and concerns,
Wow.
and then from that we decide what we're going to focus on during the week. And so on that particular Sunday, we were just showing how, first, and that's one of our first weeks. We were just down about a lot, and the students talked a lot about just hoping that they could live past 18. I mean, it was a whole lot going on. We
Yes.
talked to us about
I
that.
can imagine.
It wasn't. So we're like, okay, y'all, we're gonna rise above this. So from there, that was one of our first songs that our audience has heard. And then the students, a couple of our young men, they did raps about that. Just,
Yes.
I,
That is
I
that
want
is
to
so
get
good.
past this. And it was, so we do a lot of therapy in there, but
Okay.
encouragement, and we talk, we express what's happening.
Yes. I'll
And
tell you one of the things that you made me mindful of, and attorney brought us, as young as you are, you might still have heard of Holy Angels Catholic School on the south side of Chicago, Illinois. But there was an administrator, Father Clements, who talked of one church, one child. And in that went across the country encouraging churches to adopt a child, as it were. And they had a choir, the Holy Angels choir from that school. And when I hear you encouraging the churches to become involved in something like this, I honestly believe that it has franchise potential, if you will, in that across the land, with technology being what it is, you, I think, would not be angry at them if churches took your example and copied it.
that's right. I really would not. And we really are we're working with some public officials and some different people, getting them
Good.
to just help us to do this, because public safety is real. We have
Ooh.
our kids are experiencing so much, with themselves, with their friends leaving. I mean, family issues, whatever's going on. And what safer place should they be in? I'm gonna say should they be in, and then could
Yeah.
they be in, than a church. Um, and because sometimes what we find is um, people, sometimes people who are old church tradition, so to speak, they sometimes are not as friendly to young people, because sometimes they don't understand them. They're afraid
Right.
of them sometimes. There's different reasons to why it
Yes.
happens, because it's a different generation. But I think the more that we can help um, a lot of our our different mindseted people who are older,
Yes.
to understand the young people, and that no matter what's happening to them, they're just kids, and they're made to grow up faster, so they're more mature. Things are happening to our younger people today that's just different. But if we kind of come closer together and do some things together again, intergenerational, And that's what these career kitchens do. We get to hear from the young people recipes of their parents. We get to hear about their uncles and aunts, and like Miss Sierra, she invited her uncles and cousins to come, and it's just interesting. And then they get to see their loved one doing some amazing stuff, and they get to see other ones too, and it's helping to change for some people. I know that they're seeing these young people, they're shocked, like, really?
Well, I'll tell you, I will finish this with a question for Paris, but let me say to you that in 1980 was when I arrived in Kansas City from Chicago, Illinois. As it turns out, Wanda and I met at Ridley's restaurant. And the Ridleys were at Friendship Baptist Church, and they had a restaurant at 6015 Troost. But this is why I'm mentioning their restaurant. It was one of the few places in the city of Kansas City where you could go to get your food and see the entire kitchen. Mm. Now, what I mean by that is there have been a number of exposés done where you've seen fancy restaurants, and then after they went into the kitchen, you didn't want to eat there anymore because it was not sanitary, not well kept, not well organized. But when they saw Ridley's restaurant, it was clean. They invited you to see what the kitchen looked like and while they were preparing meals. Now, the reason I brought that up is because you made me mindful of that when Sierra sang. You talked about the young people rapping. You talked about the atmosphere being open enough so that anybody who is there can see the operation as it is operating and be participants, as it were. But I did say that I was going to end those remarks with a question for Paris, because Paris Holly is exemplary as it relates to teaching others. And I'm just wondering what kind of opportunities, Paris, you have for folks like me who might come in and have questions, or to guide and direct us on how to approach young people and teach them, and what opportunities like that you seize upon.
So for me, I think, one, I have to touch on what you said about the cleanliness of the restaurant, because it's like sticking out in my head. We do make sure our students are very mindful of their cleanliness, their safety, because that's one of our number one priorities.
Yes.
Is their safety, how clean we keep the kitchen, because I speak to the students very straight to try to be, I don't know how to phrase that. I'm a very direct person anyway, but I do speak to the student straight because I think it helps bridge the gap. Yes, I'm older, but I'm not old enough not to know. So cleanliness and safety is one of the huge things. But to help bridge that gap, like if you were to come in and come talk to them, it's like, just be you. These students want to learn. They want to know. They are learning how to reach out as well. So if you just happen to mention, they say, "Oh, how's your day?" Like, "Hey, I do this." They'll ask you questions. Like, they're learning it's okay to reach out, because people out here want to help you. People like talking about themselves. That's just how people are. They like talking about themselves. So you catch somebody who wants to talk about themselves, that person may just be your next opening into your career or your business opportunity or whatever you're doing. And we explain that to them, and also for them to be mindful. Like if you catch them doing something that may not be the best thing, like, hey, they're goofing around, but like, hey, this would be perfect for this type of business. It may not be this, be like, hey, I noticed you did that. No, there's no shade. I'm just going to give you a small little critique. They will accept it. They will listen. They will bring it up to us and ask, how can we make this better? What can I do to go to this? Hey, do we have that person's contact? Can I reach out to them? Like you just, they're people, you're a person, they're a person. Just because there's an age gap, it doesn't mean that we don't want to talk and listen. on both sides, because I'm right in the middle, to where it's like, you know, they might not listen or they might listen, because I tell them, I was like, hey, you know, I might make a fumble. You could talk to me. Don't be scared to talk to me. Don't just run and tell them. Like, I want to know where's my mistake, and I want you to do the same. Feel free to talk to us. Yes, we're older, but we're all human. Like, that's the end of it. They want to learn. Drop nuggets on them. They need it.
Yes.
They like it, and you guys want to do it. So
thank you. Thank you so very much.
If I can, I'm gonna drop something there for a second. And Miss Sierra, she may have a comment on this as well. But one of the other big things that we notice from the young leaders that we have is that they don't have a lot of some do, but for our boys, I'll say our boys especially, they don't have a lot of male role models in their lives, because I mean, and they tell you that themselves. And so we've talked about, you know, dads not being there, or uncles, or, you know, one of the guys said, I don't have anybody, I just have a lot of women around. So we had our pastor to come in, some of the deacons from the church, and talk to them. And it was funny. I told my Pastor Bond this. Then when they left, and, you know, things are happening, and then the boys are like, well, yeah, man, it's different when a man say it. You know what I mean? You know, I mean, they're talking to themselves. Yeah, the boys are. Absolutely. But they were just saying, well, we know they say that, but they need that interaction. So it's nice when we have people, if they're couples who come in, like Mr. Versey and his wife, and a couple of people in their family. Oh, wow. So they get to see that interaction as well a lot. And they really want to talk to you. And so they like it when the people ask them what they want to do and what they want to be. And it just encourages them. And what school you going to? And they really want to talk to us.
Right. Well, let me ask first, reminding everybody that the name of this program is Wave Your Grades. We're on KUAW.org every Saturday, 1 until 2 p.m. My name is Carl Boyd. I'm your civilian host. Louis George Walker is producer, engineer, and indeed founder of KUAW.org. And there is a point in the program where we always ask Louis George Walker to remind those who are with us how they can access 24/7 KUAW.org and the kind of fare you will be treated to when indeed you do access this webcast station. Louis George Walker, please. I can hear you.
Yeah, but they couldn't hear me online and stuff. So.
I see. Okay.
All right, yo. We want to say thanks everyone for listening to KUAW Radio. KUAW stands for Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom. This is Kansas City's global community radio station. And you can pick us up on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Twitch. When we do these live Zooms and other live broadcasts, you can also pick us up 24 hours a day on the TuneIn app, on my online radio box, on Get Me Radio, which is connected to Roku, Apple TV, and Fire Stick. So we're on a lot of different ways that you can pick up KUAW Radio. So just go to Google and search KUAW Radio. You can pick us up. We're broadcasting 24/7 on the audio side. You hear shows like this. We have some old school music. We have a blues show that's going to be starting right after this. So you can hear some blues time in the city. So we've got a lot of different things that go on with Cool Jazz Weekly. So check us out, KUAW Radio, right here in Kansas City.
Thank you so very, very much. And going back to Attorney Valencia Broadus, if there is a church interested in affiliated with what you do, and or if there are young people who want to become involved, what is your contact information?
If they can please, they can just give me a text. And I say TEXT. If you call me, I may not have time to scroll through all my messages. So send me a text, 816-612-1083. And you can just say, I heard about the Career Kitchen, I'm interested, and then just put your name. And I'll text you back immediately, and we will connect, because we are planning to set up several of these throughout the school year at some other places. So we are actively working on it and making it happen, because it's so wonderful when you see it. And so when people came in, they saw it, they were like, okay, we need to do more of these. So we're excited, and we hope that anybody who thinks it's a good thing to even see and to think about, please connect with us, help us make it happen for these young people. Just think, 10 students
Yes.
in every church. If we just had 10 churches, that's 100 high school students for sure, that they would be engaged doing more around our school year. And we do pay our young people. So that is important that they do get paid. And there are different resources out here to pay the young people. So we don't want people to be afraid of that as some of the issue, but we do need to just we work together to make it happen, because just like everybody else, we won't get paid too. They want to get paid, so we pay them. So that's pretty important.
Now, one of the things that you did indeed emphasize was the business aspect of what is going on with the young people. In addition to that, it occurred to me when Louis George Walker was talking that there is to be an expansion as it relates to your organization working with KUAW.org. Are we ready to repeat mention of that quite yet, or do we have to wait a while?
You only have to wait one more week, because Mr. Walker sent me some information.
All right.
And I had not followed back up with him this time. So it's on me. But he did. And we're excited about that, because just how like now we're here able to talk about it and talk about the business aspects. A big piece of the young people, like right now, they're doing a business plan. And so we'll be working with the SBA, Small Business Administration, doing a lot of helping other young people to learn about business. So we're excited about being able to have a show, because we'll be able to talk about the food and all that.
Absolutely.
Really talk about financial literacy and business, and helping young people to start businesses based on, and some of them have them already, but they're not legitimate yet. So we don't want them to get in the habit of not doing the business well and right, and they get caught up in tax. So we want to just help everybody to take their side hustle to a different level, because there's all these contracts that are available, and they can do the work. And it's really amazing when you watch young people. They can do marketing, they can do all these fabulous tasks, and they can get paid for it, but they don't know. And so they don't know that they're out there. So we do a lot at the BEU. We expose our adults to all the government contracts and contracts in Walmart and all that. But our young people, they have the skills also. And so that's exciting as they learn about how gifted they are.
Well, let me thank you. I don't be surprised if I ask you to repeat that, because that is so important. I am interested in finding out from Sierra Boston about career plans in two contexts, if you will. One is personally, what will Sierra Boston's career be? And the next thing I would like to ask of a young person is how you feel about returning to Kansas City, Missouri, or do you look forward to traveling elsewhere that you feel is more compatible to your career destination?
Okay, so my career, I want my what I'm working on is to become a singer. And yeah, I want people to hear my voice. I want them to hear what I have to say.
You have a wonderful voice, by the way.
Thank you.
I'm not just saying that, and people who were treated know that when Attorney Valencia brought us, feels so great about it. She's not just talking. So thank you for sharing with us. And excuse me for interrupting you. Go ahead.
It's okay. Anyway, so I want people to hear my voice. I don't really want to become a singer for the money or the fame. It's just because I want people to hear what I have to say. I want my music to inspire others, and I want my music to help others feel better about situations they've been through, and help them see, like, you're not the only one that has gone through this. I've gone through it too, and I just want you to know that I'm here for you, and I'm here to help you, and I'm here to listen. So And then I plan on, after college, after I graduate from college, I plan on going back to Wichita, Kansas, so I can be with my mom and my siblings for a little bit. But then um, when my career starts to flow, I plan on going to either Chicago or something like that, so I could be a little bit closer to that French size. So yeah, hopefully, well, it will all go as planned. But yeah, that's what I plan on doing. But I will always come back to Kansas City, Missouri, so I can visit my friends and my uncle and my baby cousin, and visit Miss Valencia and all of that. I plan on staying down here for a while, so I'm gonna be down here for like 6 years, maybe. I think I don't know how long it takes for me to graduate from college.
Let me say to you that certainly we are proud of you and we appreciate the fact that you are with Valencia Broadus and Valencia as it relates to the young people and their career choices. How often do you get an opportunity to use your legal skills in advising them? Years ago, somebody said they wanted to sing. That's what they wanted to do. You want to make sure that they can read a contract as well.
Absolutely. A part of our model is we have a legal Eagles team, and so you may remember
Ah,
Miss Syria and Micah.
yes.
Miss Syria is part of our legal Eagle team, and then we have a young man named Jeffrey. So
All
we
right.
have a piece where those young people, they help us to look at the legal considerations and risk of operating our restaurant. And so whenever something comes up, then I go to them and say, okay, this could be a legal concern. And so what do we do? And so I do that a lot with them so that we can help, those people who have that career interest to always understand how, from a business perspective, we're looking at that. From the all the other young leaders, we talk a lot about safety, the food prep, how a lot of our actions and inactions can cause legal harm to not just the organization, but the other partners involved, whether it be BEU or the church or ourselves or just the people working there. We had a conversation one time regarding just sexual harassment because the young people were just like kind of hitting each other. Things were happening. So we kind of said, if we were in a real workplace and if
Yeah.
these things kept happening, that you could easily, depending on the way the other people feel about it, it could be, a harassment charge. And again, they're just playing, they're horse playing. But because they're not told these things enough, then the actions seem okay. And they take this horseplay and playfulness into the workplace, and without a lot of employability instruction before they get to work. So a lot of people get in trouble leaving work because they just don't know the rules of the game. So
Absolutely.
we do a lot of that employability type stuff, making sure that they understand the rules of work. And we talk about no calls, no shows. We talk about all sorts of stuff that
Well,
you
now,
can not have a job.
let, let me suggest to you that it is a new day in a number of ways. And by the way, Sierra Boston, Paris Holly, please jump in. You don't have to wait for us to ask you a question if you have a comment that you want to make. But what you made me mindful of, attorney Valencia brought us, is that oftentimes in my day, if you wanted to be cautious, it might have been about horseplay. It might have been about making remarks that are libelous or something like that. But do you find yourself also emphasizing the implications of technology and what can happen to you if something goes on your record simply because you were playing around with a text message or something like that?
I will say for me, I know that we don't necessarily tell them about like what happens with the text message, but we do make them aware that whatever goes on, it could be a part of your record starting as early as third grade.
Wow.
So
Wow.
things they stay with you. So just be mindful of what you're doing, mindful of your surroundings, how you're maneuvering. That, at least me for sure, when I come in, I listen to them. I'm like, just remember, we have people around. You never know who could either be your next business partner, your next supervisor, whatever, because what you show and what you put out there, people will see, and it's not always going to help you in a positive manner. Even when we're going, like, we went to go visit Pastor Bond, and we had to let them know, like, hey, just be mindful, not only legally, like how you're moving, but who is looking at you, what could happen if things were to go another direction, another way. So
Yes. Go right ahead. I'm sorry, Sister Broadus.
No, I was saying thank you to Miss Paris. I was saying thank you.
Yes, and as I think about it from the standpoint, I thought at a very young age, would not have imagined as low as third grade because
yes, they start building our prison system as early as third grade. That's when they start structuring the model of how many people they think are going to be in based on different behavioral issues. I'm not saying that word properly, but just a little bit of all of that. That's where it really starts, is third grade.
so when you think about the school to prison pipeline and building prisons based upon third grade reading scores, that is really scary. And yet
Very
it
much
is an
so.
actuality. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was agreeing with you. I was saying very much so. Even for my kids, they're 3, but I try to be mindful of, just because the generations we live in right now, they have so much access to just things and what they see, and they're getting so much knowledge so much faster than what they were before, and they're exposed to so much
Yes.
that we have to be very mindful of that at any age. So however we're portraying ourselves or what we're putting on the internet, anything, we just have to be aware. And it starts with letting people know. A lot of people don't know.
On Waive Your Grades, we're talking to Attorney Valencia Broadus, our very special guests on first Saturdays with the Smart Club, the Black Economic Union, and now Portions of Praise. So this is really fantastic. And as Paris was speaking, and we're calling up School to Prison Pipeline, let me say that Valencia brought us your your group, as it were, your young people, caused me to look at an answer to a question in a different way, and I'll tell you what I mean. So often, if you ask young Black male teenagers why they are engaged in an enterprise over the summer, they will almost in an automatic way say, I need to do something to keep me out of trouble. Now, my question to myself is, what makes me think that they're going to get in trouble in the first place? So that if somebody were to ask me about the young people with whom you work and why are they doing what they're doing what they're doing to teach me. They're doing what they're doing to get entrepreneurial skills. They're doing what they are doing to enhance the climate where they live and the household in which they live. They are doing what they're doing because they're fully capable, and they needed a Valencia Broadus to pull out those capabilities. But I am not going to automatically say they need to do this to stay out of trouble, because as a Black man myself, I tire of someone assuming that because I'm a Black male, I'm going to get in trouble in the first place. And the young people with whom you work are young people who, if they've had that engagement, are proving to the world that they know how to do what needs to be done to be successful.
They are. I am gonna share a thought that I do believe that whether it's a Black young person or a white young person, Hispanic, I think that if young people don't have things to do, they are going to get in trouble.
Yes.
And so I
That
think that because of that, I think there's an assumption that other young people have things to do, which is why they don't get in trouble,
you
and
see.
our kids don't have things to do. And I think that some of that may be accurate in this way. In other communities, there may be freer centers, transportation. There could be uh, neighborhood groups or something, or they can afford to put them in the YMCA all day or whatever. There are things that other communities do to make sure that during the summers, their kids are probably doing some things, whether it's, 4-H or, sports or something that also help kids to say, I want to do that so bad. Even if it's like on weekends, I get to go to Worlds of Fun or whatever the other parents do that help their kids to do whatever they have to do to not get in trouble.
I
Sometimes,
can.
though,
Yeah.
in our community, there aren't a lot of things to do to keep the attention of our young people. That's different from just having things to do. But how do we
Well,
keep the attention of our young people and making sure that they're doing things over the summer, like, reading,
yes.
writing, critical thinking, speaking. A big thing that we do in our kitchen is we do math in the kitchen. Dr. Eddie Smith, he is our lead kitchen adult. I'm sorry, it's probably in our summer kitchen. Dr. Eddie Smith, he leads the kitchen and he does math in the kitchen. Is that better? Yeah, okay. And so saying that because sometimes it's about some kids, they're going with grandma and grandpa in the summer. Like they're doing some things or they're with uncles and aunts. So when you have kids that are home all day, often by themselves, while mom and dad are working or whatever's happening, I don't care what color they are. Sometimes they're going to get in some trouble if we don't
You
find things
see,
for them to do. So I just wanted to make sure I'm saying that.
absolutely. One of the things, unfortunately, so often is what you just said, that caveat, no matter what color they are. Because oftentimes we say it as though it is peculiar to our community.
Right.
But with the absence of role models, quote, things to do, unquote, just as you just said, young people from any community would be susceptible to something that is negative. So, what I was suggesting was if I were to meet young people who are affiliated with Valencia Brothers, I do not meet them with the assumption of, okay, what kind of trouble are you staying out of?
Right.
Because that is not necessarily their character. You are providing a number of things that they might do, but they are just as intelligent, they are just as good, they are just as bright as anybody on the planet. And you are giving them an opportunity to express those things, which is very positive.
And we also, and thank you, Mr. Boyd. We also do a piece, kind of like even being here on the radio, is, our young leaders, they know that if they continue to do their best, be their best, and just kind of strive for, the goals that we have for them, that we will continue to provide them opportunities. And so we give them a reason to not act out. We give them a reason to, well, if I know that if I just do my best, Miss V and them other people, they're going to help me.
Yes.
One of our young men, he told us during the school year, we asked him what his dreams were, how's he going to get there, all that type of stuff. And he had said, well, I mean, for real, I don't dream that much because he says, because I always think if I fall, who's going to catch me? And I said, well, we're going to catch you. And he looked at us in the face. He said, really? And he's with us now, which is interesting. But the reason that he's with us this summer. And so I told that story actually to Pastor Vaughn. We're together. And it's good because sometimes they don't really believe that we have opportunities for them. Remember, they don't think they're going to live past 18. So they often really don't think that we're going to give them anything else. So it's really important for us. Like, I try to text them in the mornings and each day saying how you doing and all that type of stuff, just to keep in contact and checking on them even when we're not at work, building that family, that familial space with them so that they know that we're here for them. And we think that makes a difference also.
Well, forgive me, but we are at the end of the program. I wanted to make sure that Sierra Boston had an opportunity to say whatever closing remarks are on her mind. I'll come back to Valencia Broadus and then I will close it out. Sierra Boston.
Yeah, so I was agreeing with Miss Valencia when she was talking about how different, like how all communities, anybody can act up, anybody can get in trouble,
right.
Like it's not just one community, it's all communities. I'm mixed with Black and white, and I've seen my siblings on my mom's side, I've seen them act up. All of my cousins, I've seen them act up just as much as the kids, the people on my dad's side. And it's really like when you stop seeing color and you just see a person, somebody for who they are, you realize like this person is not as much different as this other person.
Thank you.
Nobody is different from anything. Like we all have our difference, but our color, our skin color, that doesn't make us different. That doesn't make us act a different way. It doesn't change who we are, because on the inside, it's still our soul. This is just a body that we're in. It's really our soul that is on the inside. That's who we really are.
We agree. And we thank you so very much for sharing your talent, sharing your words. We appreciate you. And thank you. Valencia Brothers.
That's all I have. She said it all for me. So
that's outstanding.
I'm gonna send y'all a flyer. So that's the main thing.
Okay. Well, before we go, thank you, Valencia Brothers. Thank you, Sierra Boston. We thanked Paris Holly and for appearing on Wave Your Grades. We're looking forward to first Saturday in September. Don't be surprised if we call on you before then, because we always appreciate what you are doing. Tomorrow, 12 until 3, 2200 Olive, portions of praise. Thank you very much, Louis George Walker. I do end the program each Saturday with a word for students in honor of troops. To students across the USA, your Stoots for Boots message for this day, August 6th. Military intelligence determines our nation's protection. American students' intelligence determines our nation's direction. My name is Carl Boyd, and a congratulations to VFW Post 8100 Auxiliary in the reception of a Kansas City Alliance Award last Saturday morning. They allowed me to be a part of that auxiliary and was very proud to stand with them last week. My name is Carl Boyd. Thank you, Louis George Walker, Attorney Valencia Broadus, Sierra Boston, Gracious God, and Wonderful Wanda. I'm on my way home.
Amen. Have a great one, everybody.
You too. Thank you.